I think about the worst individuals in society, those who commit these heinous crimes. Murders, for example, homicides, kidnappings, school shootings, and crimes which are of sexual in nature. And I think to myself, what kind of a person would do such a thing? Is he the type of man who has a life that he really enjoys living? Like he has things going on for him? Like, does he have a well established, productive career? Is he physically fit and strong? Does he work out? Is he intellectual and knows a lot about various domains of life? Is he someone who's disciplined? Is he someone who is consistent? Does he wake up every day and pursue his goals and passions and is excited about life? The answer to all of these questions is probably no. The person who commits such crimes, probably at the bottom level of society, does none of these things that I just mentioned. When you don't chase the pleasure of self-improvement as a man, you find yourself chasing different sources of pleasure, which usually stem from instant gratification. When your life doesn't have a purpose, you're more likely to indulge in things that are not really good for you as a man, as a being. You're more likely to be at the mercy of your impulsive desires, at the mercy of your own emotions, because you never had to do activities that involved discipline and that allowed you to grow. Think about an internet troll you see on Reddit, or for example even in the comment sections of YouTube. He isn't a person who has his life in order or has a bunch of interesting things going on. Such a person is looking for a quick dose of joy by probably pissing off strangers on the internet. It's because there's a void, there's an absence of purpose in his life. There's nothing attracting him, there's nothing pulling him towards a goal. There's nothing so desirable that he actually wishes to pursue it. There's nothing giving him pleasure. I mean, I too have been there. There were periods in my life where I did not have any desire to improve. I was kind of content with just staying the way I was. But what I soon realized was that if I do not get this feeling that I was heading somewhere, or that I was improving, or that I was better off than I was yesterday in some shape or form, then life wasn't that exciting anymore, and I would chase dopamine from junk food or binge watching Netflix or some other crap, some other cheap substitute to the real thing. It then hit me that perhaps men feel the most content when they have a load to push. A struggle, something to accomplish, something to do, something to push against, something to strive for. You know, it's almost like we as men are designed for this, to climb mountains and go get on an adventure. In the absence of this load, we kind of fall off track and indulge in quick, superficial pleasure. Like you see a lot of these athletes, especially athletes who were like in top tier shape when they were competitive, and all of a sudden once they retired, they blow up. They become fat, put on a bunch of weight, have a bunch of bad habits, drinking, smoking, and even drug use. It's almost like once you're off your path, the path towards glory, the path that heads towards something really, really important and desirable, once you stop pursuing that, you lose your daily sense of joy. You lose your daily dose of dopamine. And in the absence of dopamine, we, like I've said for the 1,000th time, we pursue our hedonistic desires. So I think people greatly underestimate what self-improvement can do for a man. Self-improvement isn't just about, attaining a bunch of competencies in various avenues of life, such as being physically developed or intellectually competent, or to know something more about various domains of life. It's far deeper than that. It allows you to bear the burden of your existence without destroying yourself and destroying those around you. It allows you to make sense of your life, to give it meaning. It gets you that daily dose of candy that we all crave as humans. Joy, dopamine. I think it's not really optional anymore. It's not just optional that you should self-improve, or you have another option of not self-improving at all and just staying the way that you are. I think it's absolutely mandatory, especially now in the times that we live, where there are like numerous ways to destroy yourself, and they are all at your fingertips. Like, it has never been this easy to destroy yourself as a man as it has been in 2023. Like, think about it. If you don't get that dopamine, that joy from improving and struggling and achieving things, you can practically get it from everything else. Things that are just so easy to tap into. For example, you can just order Netflix, you can just order Uber, binge eat. That's going to give you some dopamine. That's going to be fun for a while. Or you can just binge watch Netflix shows all day. Oh, that's going to be fun for a while. Right? That's how you can get your source of pleasure, dopamine. Indulgent pornography, like you have an unlimited number of women at your disposal, in the palm of your hands, doing absolutely absurd things whenever you want them, however you want them. How does a man say no to all of these things? Because they are highly, highly stimulating. But they leave you in a rut. They leave you they leave you broken. Once, of course, that temporary dopamine spike is over. You can only truly say no to these things when you have something equivalent. Something probably stimulating going on in your life. And this is what self-improvement offers you. It offers you avenues to get your daily source of joy. Perhaps you hit that session in the gym and you feel great. You feel great that you managed to improve, or you managed to get something tough, difficult done. That's your source of joy. Perhaps that has now substituted your Netflix binging habits. You went ahead and studied for 2 hours, learn how to program or something. Perhaps, and that gave you a sense of accomplishment that you actually did something. You gained a valuable skill. Perhaps that becomes a substitute to some other addictive behavior, such as watching pornography. I think all addictive behavior really is filling a void with cheap substitutes of pleasure. But if you can find meaning in real things, in real activities that give you a sense of accomplishment, then these addictive behaviors kind of lose their grip on you. Of course, there's more to the science of addiction. There's a lot of neurology associated with it. I'm not oblivious to that. But I truly believe having productive outlets in your life, things in which you see yourself actually growing in, domains of competence that you eventually climb, I think these are extremely, extremely important for a young man, especially in 2023. There are also a bunch of other reasons why you should self-improve as a man, which are not just as simple as in order to avoid hedonism. But the other reasons are that if you're a man of substance, if you're a man who's highly accomplished in various domains of life, you sort of become that anchor in your family. You sort of become the problem solver. You become that person that people approach when they're in tough times. And that feeling is rewarding, to be able to become the shield of your family. To be able to resolve the difficulties that other individuals face. To be the pillar of a society. And you can only truly be a pillar of a society or be the shield of your family when you're competent, not just physically, but also know how to navigate the world, also know how to be a problem solver. And all these things are not something that you're merely born with. These things can take years of your life to accrue. And this is what self-improvement offers you, a place in society. Not just any place, a place in society that is of value and people look up to you. That's a beautiful place in society. And isn't that all what we as men want, pretty much? To be respected, to be admired by our loved ones and those around us.